Welcome to Are We the Only Ones? I'm Kathy, and today I want to talk about popping my virgin cherry on Virgin Voyages. I just came back from a Virgin cruise that was on the Scarlet Lady, and I had never been on an adults only cruise. And so my friends who I actually met on the Disney Dream Hurricane Dorian sailing, which was where the passengers got 3 free nights first sailing through the hurricane season and having to deal with an actual hurricane. So we bonded, and then I actually ended up meeting them a year later by accident because we had not become friends at this point in Tokyo Disneyland during Typhoon Hagibis, which is just another coincidence. Which we're just like, how do we keep seeing each other on like acts of God kind of weather? And then we became really good friends. So fast forward, this crew has kids that had aged out of the Disney Cruise Line because they all turned 18. So then they started going on Virgin. And so I still have young kids. So I'm still in like family cruise lines, like, Royal Caribbean, Carnival. I need to have water slides. I need to have activities. I need to have a kids club for my kids. I need an arcade. So, although Virgin does have an arcade that's free. So it was actually kind of funny to see like things like that. But it makes sense. There's a kid in all of us, no matter what. So I want to explain the differences in case anyone is interested in learning what it's like to sail on Virgin. And this is not an ad. I paid for this cruise, and I'm just going to tell you like my honest opinion based on someone who actually paid versus like being comped. Now, I've been comped on Carnival and Royal, and I guess it is a little bit different because I earned that comp, but it's different than like having a sponsored trip per se, right? So this is an honest opinion. This is not a paid sponsorship. This is the true consumer testimonial. And it happens to be an episode of my podcast because I feel like I would want to know. I would want to know from somebody that cruises enough to know the difference. And so one of the key differences that I thought was a surprise, a huge surprise, was that their casino program is relatively new. I guess Richard Branson, when he first commissioned the ships, didn't have even like a casino in the ships, and then learned very quickly that the cruise lifestyle kind of requires a casino. So they put casinos in, and then 2 years ago started the casino program because they didn't really understand that that was also part of cruising. So their comp system is a lot different. If you're comped on Royal, for instance, they'll give you like 7 pages of cruises in an Excel spreadsheet where each row and column is like, you could have like 100 cruises on one page, something like that. Like, I haven't counted, but you understand what I'm trying to say. Carnival has it through their portal as well. They don't have like a spreadsheet, but like you just go in with your VFIP number, which is like your Carnival casino ID, and it'll pull up all the different cruises, different comps, like free play offers, all that stuff. And those you can use like 5 times usually for each reward code. Virgin, I believe, like you have to pick the specific cruise, and there's only 4 ships, so you don't get like pages and pages. And you can earn on that sailing, and also there's your annual, which is like every other cruise line, but specifically Virgin was, I think it was like 1,500 for an interior cabin points and 3,000 for an ocean view cabin. But you had to actually like talk to the casino host before the end of the cruise and like activate it. So that's different, like versus other Royal Caribbean Carnival, they'll just send it to you via email. Now I'll see based on my play if I get an email, or if I check, maybe I'll check my account and then see if they give me any offers, and then I'll let you guys know. But I just got back like a week ago, so it hasn't like cold. It'll take like 14 days, I believe, for them to update their casino program system for comps and stuff like that, which is fine. I mean, I think it's new, right? It's a new system. They only have 4 ships, like I get it. But what Virgin does really, really well is entertainment and food. And I would also say, like, I liked that their shopping area. They had things that they don't have on other ships. Like they had a tattoo studio. So if you want to get a tattoo, you get a tattoo on board. There was a Mac store. So if you wanted to get Mac and it was duty free because you're on the ship, you could shop and get Mac makeup. They had, oh, the food setup is all inclusive. So there's no specialty dining upgrade. There's specialty dining, but you don't have to pay more for it. It's included in your cruise price. So I got to eat at Test Kitchen twice, which is molecular gastronomy and deconstructed food. Now, I don't know if some people don't like that, but I have actually dined at El Bulli, which is Fran Andrea, and that was in Rosa, Spain. He's the founder of molecular gastronomy. So I have an appreciation, and I can compare, right, to how the founder did it and what people's interpretation, new chefs and stuff like that. So it was cool. It was cool. I did it twice, and that meant I missed out on Gambe, which is supposed to be a really good Korean barbecue experience. Apparently, the way they do it is like it's a very communal table, and it's like a drinking game. So Gambe is the name of a drinking game in South Korea, and so you get really drunk if you want to. You get really, really drunk while eating, and I guess that could be extremely fun. It's an adults only cruise, like why not? I definitely noticed that there was a lot of space because there's people not really using strollers. There was not like a lot of like traffic where you have to like, oh, excuse me, like something like that. It was a lot quieter in the sense where there's no kids running around, so there's not like a lot of noise. And then there's also like no stress. And I realized, oh, there's no stress because there's not people running around worrying about their kids getting food for them and all that. And you don't, because I've always been on family cruises, I just like it's just normal. But I was like, this feels so different. And it's also interesting because a lot of times it seems like Virgin, I don't know how I got this idea, but I felt like it may have been like a sex forward type of sailing entertainment, but it wasn't. Other than embarkation day, where you have like maybe a couple people dressed in like a lot of skin, kind of like go-go dancer vibes, just for that particular like onboarding. And then on the first night, I went to the Persephone show, which is kind of like think Cirque du Soleil and burlesque, and it was good. It was really, really good. There's acrobatics and stuff like that. I mean, is there a stripper pole vibe? Yes, there's a stripper pole vibe, but it's an art kind of way. Like it's very artistic. It's not like crass or anything like that. Although when I showed my husband, he was like, I don't know if I'd want to go to that. But I was like, it's fine. But it's like, but I wouldn't. I saw a video of one of the travel agents that does a lot of like YouTube videos, and he had said that it was a place that was a cruise that like maybe if you're a family oriented kind of like couple, you might not think it was appropriate. So I went on there worried that it was like that, and then when I came out, I was like, no, it's like not anywhere near that bad, like at all. So I mean, to the extent that I didn't even see a single pineapple on a door, on clothing. I heard that there was a group of 70 people that were in a swingers group and they were talking loudly at dinner, but I didn't see pineapples. Whereas like in Royal Caribbean Carnival, I see pineapples everywhere. Have you ever seen a pineapple in Disney? Maybe. Not on the door, but like maybe on like somebody's clothes. At the time I didn't know. And technically you're looking for an upside down pineapple, you're looking for like pink flamingos. But anyways, so so it was confirmed that there were swingers on board, but they were not obvious to me. So it was just conveyed to me at the pool when I was talking to somebody that had met the casino. And it was a couple and it was really funny. So I like the pool setup is really calm. Um, they had great outdoor in the aft, which is the back of the ship, outdoor bar areas out there that were, I think, probably my favorite of all the ships I've ever been on, including Disney. On Disney, that would normally be the adults only area, but what I liked about it was like they had Mediterranean tapas as that menu. So you would have the galley, which in the morning, which is the only place that I've ever seen this offered, is Asian noodle soups. So I would get like, first I had tonkatsu ramen. It was okay. The best one was the Thai curry ramen. That was by far the best. I ate that every other morning that I was on the ship. And then they also have it set up to where you can go up to stations like in a food hall. So there was like a place that had like avocado toast and eggs Benedict, different types of like open face sandwiches. And then there would be like the normal, but it's like a fresh cooking station for like omelets and eggs. You get your hash browns and your potatoes and things like that. Then they had like an entire pastries area where you would order like really like nice pastries, like French pastries. So it's like macarons and um, eclairs, like high end, not like just cakes that were cut into squares, like on a normal cruise ship buffet. So you'd have like beautiful like um, pavlovas, which is like a meringue baked with like berries and cream, which is not like a cheap dessert. Okay, so you had like high end desserts and a lot of gluten free. Most of it was gluten free, which I thought was really good because I was on board with people that had celiacs, gluten free allergy, and shellfish allergy, and they were accommodated really well on here. The pizza is fresh made, hand tossed dough and pressed out, and it's personal pan pizzas. So you can't get slices; you have to have an entire pizza. So you have to wait for their pizzas. And in the galley, the other thing that I forgot to mention is that if you don't want to go up to the station to order, at every table there was this like think like a mailbox with like the flag that goes up. You would lift that flag, and then like somebody would come over and ask you what you would like to order, and then they would come get it for you. So you didn't have to even like wait in line, which I love because usually in a like a buffet on a ship, you have to get in line. You can't just like order and have them bring it to you. So that was really cool, and the food was really good. Oh, soda is included on the ship. The only thing you pay for is alcohol, and you don't tip on the ship on the Virgin because it's included in your cruise fare. So there's no additional prepaid gratuity. It's just in the cruise fare. And the people that work on Virgin are not necessarily set up the same way as other cruise lines. Other cruise lines, if you're like, for instance, on the entertainment team, which means that you like do the shows, like you act in the shows, you sing in the shows, but then you also have like where you check in people for muster or you check in people for like tickets for shows if they want to. You'll have like other jobs, and usually they have like five of the jobs, and they'll be like a cruise director. On Virgin, they will hire people specifically one for one job, and then pay them for the year, and not make them do other jobs on the ship. And they pay them a good salary there. You can tell that the crew is like happy to be there. They also don't have a separate crew galley for the crew. They eat in the same galley that we eat in, the guests eat in. So they get access to the Thai ramen curry that I was talking about. Uh, they get access to the sushi. There's sushi on board. They get access to all the food that's in the galley. So I'm assuming they also get to eat at the regular restaurants too. So that would make a huge difference because not only do you get to eat well if you're a crew member, you also don't feel like you're less than. Like when I'd be on Carnival, I'd ask people, "Oh, do you get to like crew members? Oh, did you like the water slide?" And they're like, "Oh, we don't get to go." Or on was it maybe not Carnival? It was Royal Caribbean because I'm asking specifically on a ship that had like a great water slide, and I was like, "Oh yeah, you must love that." And they're like, "Oh, we don't get to go on that." I go, "Ever?" No. I was like, "What?" Because on Disney, the crew gets to use the, the stuff on the ship when they're not working. So I thought, wait, what? And they even have their own crew private pool and jacuzzi. So, it was something I was like, oh no. So you can tell in the service based on the way that they're treated and how they're paid that they enjoy working there. like sincerely enjoy working there. So I thought that was very refreshing to feel. It's not that on Carnival you can tell, but there's just like this slight difference when you're like, oh, okay. Because I thought if I'm not tipping, if it's not a tipping culture, they would not be as like excited to give you good service, but that's not the case at all. So you know that they're getting paid really well and their tips are like coming in their salary like automatically. You can definitely feel that they are happy working there. And that is part of the guest experience. You can actually feel it. So it's great. It's a great feeling. There's only one. The cruise director is not a job on board a Virgin ship. They break that job up into 12 different roles. So the people like I guess it's called like the foodie who I met. Um, I feel like she was the primary in this particular one. She was. I could be wrong, just because I saw her the most. Then there's like the hype. There's I don't know all the names, but I learned that and I was like, oh, that's really cool that they have. But then that also gives you an idea of how hard the cruise directors on the other ships work when there's 12 different people working full time to fill that one role. Like, oh my God. So, shout out to the cruise directors on Carnival and Disney and Royal. Seriously, much appreciation. Holy moly. Oh, the other thing that was really interesting was the casino closes on Virgin from 3 a.m. to 10 a.m. We're talking slots too. So that's like my primary times. I have insomnia sometimes. So I'll just go to the casino. So I couldn't, I had to like plan ahead. I had to like go to sleep, which is good because it mitigates your gambling too. When you're like, oh, I'm not going to gamble for those entire like 7 hours. Crazy, crazy. So that meant I mean, I was also surprised there was not a lot of people in the high limit room. I played in there a little bit. I was the only person. Every time I went there, I was basically the only person until they opened up a bank of machines that had lower limit, were like regular low limit, but they're in the high limit room. Those machines were busy for like from the moment they're open until the cruise. On the last night, the casino closed at like, I think it was like 1 a.m. It's so different than Royal Caribbean and so different than Carnival. Oh my gosh. So different. So, but they were like, they got to sleep. The people got to sleep. And I was like, they have shifts on other casinos for that. Like, that's so crazy. Like, no, 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 no. And even like on Carnival, I think, yeah, if you win, because I won a hand pay in the middle of the night, and there's only one person that's attending. So then they wrote me out the slip, and then the next morning I would have to come and get paid out. But I was like, oh no, I mean, respect to Richard Branson, like he cares about his crew. He's like, no, 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 the casino was closed. Like this entire group of people, everybody sleeps from 3 to 10 a.m. Like basically, like the ship is asleep. If you want to walk around, that's fine. If you want to get pizza, I think, or the galley, something's 24 hours for food, but otherwise, like, go to bed. Interesting. I didn't see the rest of the shows. I didn't even go to Scarlet Night because I got so hyped with my friends. One of my friends won like 3 grand on the first night, and then she won another like 4 grand the next night or something like that. So she was up 8 grand, and then I think ended up leaving with 7 grand. I was up 2 grand, and then left with like $1,400. So I was hyped, and then we were teaching our friends how to gamble, which was really fun because they got their cruises comped, um, and she got a free. Oh no, I think she always gets free cruises, but I didn't gamble anywhere near that because I was ahead, and so I just stayed ahead. I was like, I'm not playing that much more. I was cheering people on in the casino and helping people learn how to gamble, and this one guy was so nice. He like won like $1,800 from a machine that I told him to play, and then he like I wasn't there. I left to go support my actual friend that I actually came on the cruise with. And then he ran across the casino to find me, and he'd won like 1758. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. And so he's like, I had to come find you because I looked when I got the bonus and you were nowhere to be found. So I had to let you know. So I was like, oh, no, absolutely. It's totally awesome. So it was really fun, like not gambling for an entire day, but cheering people on and helping good vibes. Like it's not the worst way to hang out if you don't want to spend money. That's a great way. Good vibes, cheering people on, helping them win money. You feel like you're winning it too. You feel like the rush. It's cool. a good thing. So would I recommend going on Virgin? Yes. Um, I don't think there was any like downsides that I can think of. Right before you get on board, they give you a final option to like buy it's called a bar tab. So basically, they don't have drink packages on Virgin. You actually pay per drink, but you can buy what's called a bar tab, which is like basically a credit. And then if you buy early, they'll give you extra money for the bar tab. So you get essentially getting like a bonus, right? A free bonus. So, and then you could like, yeah, the more you spend on the bar tab, the more free bonus you got. So I thought that was really smart that they did that right before you went on board. Because if you got locked out of the app and you couldn't do it anymore, like, oh no, right? The app is kind of tricky. I don't like their app. It took me I had to delete the app a couple times to be able to even just like check in and like put my passport in. It was crazy. I was like, why is this so hard? This is not good. So that was the only thing. Other than that, I thought their system was great. I would totally recommend it. It was the most chill vibes. Um, a very well behaved group of people. I did notice it was like more spectator vibes. Like on Carnival, Royal, and Disney, you just are compelled to participate and dance and get crazy. And a lot of dancing on those cruise lines are in the common areas, like through the Lido deck, the pool deck, whatever, the forum, the atrium, whatever they were called, right? In this particular ship, everything was other than Scarlet Night and I think the Sail Away Party, which was on the Lido deck. Um, everything was relegated to a place called the Manor, which was a great like they had this entrance in the Manor, which is all like um, there's an artist that did an infinity room. It's like twinkly lights. They did that as the entryway when you walk in, and then you go into the Manor is also like the space where you watch the drag show and other shows, but it's the essentially the nightclub, and it's you enter it through the casino. It's a great space, and I like that it's done like that so that it's a nightclub vibe. Um, but it's not like an all night situation. So it's interesting that an adults only cruise, it's not like debaucherous, it's not like all night go crazy at all. There's a lot of exercising. It's like very health focused. Like, okay, it's not like I thought it was sex forward. It's actually exercise forward. The gym is located where you can see through the windows on the Lido deck. And it's like a whole half circle. It's like two sides. So you're like surrounded by people working out. On the main decks, there's like exercise areas. Like there was a guy like fully in a punching with a punching bag in like a boxing gym when I walked by. And I was like, on like a like outside deck, I was like, yo, is this guy like fully like yeah, and he fully was like punch, punch, like full punching, but he's looking at the ocean, which is I would imagine pretty dope, like to be working out like that at sea. But was it like, yo, are you guys trying to guilt us into exercising? Because like for real, I don't need that. I mean, you guys, it's inspirational. I didn't have an exercise because I did not. Did I bring my shoes? I guess I could have gone in with my Adidas, but I decided to be fabulous and just kind of like chill out. But did I enjoy Key West? I had never been to Key West. Key West apparently is the only part of Florida that has weed. So that was interesting to learn. I went to the Maritime Museum. There was a pirate, which is a pirate museum. Oh my God, one of the coolest museums. It was only like $17.50 for adult general admission. Shout out to my friend Jennifer for treating us to that. I really loved seeing pirate treasure that was found. It was like real. There was an emerald like cross that was like the dopest freaking piece of jewelry. And this is like from the 1400s, like gold chains, 24 karat, like thick double roped gold chains. You could see like, oh my God, the artistry in the 1400s is crazy. And like men wore that. That was like, oh yeah, men used to be fabulous. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would highly recommend going to that museum because it was super cool. Key West is nice and clean. I learned that the community has fun events like the zombie walk during October around Halloween, where they like all dress up as zombies and walk around and just like drink or whatever. But they have other things like other festivals like that. I was like, oh, that's so fun! Like, what a cool community. It was super clean. I say that twice because it was so clean. I was like, oh, Oh, there were chickens running around. I guess there's like, like any community, there's like a lot of people that are not as rich, and then the people that came in that were really rich, and so there's like a little bit of a disparity, but you couldn't see it necessarily. But then I was like, oh, okay, I believe it. Yeah, I could see how that could be for sure. But the community seemed like got along really well. Shout out to the Breakfast Club too. We got owners, a really good friend of one of Jennifer, my friend who hooked us up, who got treated us at the Maritime Museum, and it was cool. They were busy. It was a really good place. They're known for their mimosas. They have like seven different types of mimosas. It was cool thing called the pancake charcuterie board. I was like, that is very clever. But yeah, shout out to Key West. I would totally go back again. And then I went to the Bimini private shared island private beach club for Virgin. Super nice. I could compare it to Castaway Key, and I can compare it to Perfect Day Coco Cay. Um, I would definitely say like the Bimini Virgin Beach Club um, is like a very nice vibe. Good food, really good food, and yeah, I would like want to go back. I do hate flying out of Miami though. Miami is brutal. I missed my connection. Had to find another flight. I ended up in Orange County, and I had to have my husband pick me up down there. Brutal. But all in all, I would say it was a good trip. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments or email me at arewetheonlyonesspod@gmail.com. Give me a follow, like, subscribe on Instagram, Substack, Facebook, YouTube, all the things. All right, until next time.